MGTOW Revisited. I was wrong. My name is Jared Mello, and this is Mello Mentoring. I'm making this video today because I think it's important to, as a man, admit when you are wrong about something. The thought processes I had about MGTOW before were, upon further review, not correct. So I had said that MGTOW anger is misplaced on women, and I was wrong about that. I actually did some exploring. I listened to a couple suggestions from people on my channel. I listened to some Viktor von Frankenstein, some Hammerhand, some Immortal Mindz. Who else did I listen to? Mostly those three, and Coach Greg Adams too. But I really discovered that I just wandered upon the tip of the iceberg with what I had known about MGTOW, which wasn't even correct. MGTOW is a much bigger thing than what I had thought it was. The philosophy where there is no real leader, and there's many different kinds of groups among it, but MGTOW is what brings them together. And it's pretty cool, and I was listening to it, and I didn't know, for example, that MGTOWs usually don't like the PUA community because they think that they're just self-serving and they're not really helping the world. And they have a similar problem with the angst that the incel people have too, and I didn't realize that either. So there's a lot of things I learned by doing this, and it's one of my philosophies in life when, if I'm wrong, to admit it and then explore more about what I was ignorant about. So that last post I had made, the last video about it, was ignorant, and I admit it. And that's something I need to do a better job at. I can't be making ignorant posts like that about things I don't completely understand. And I'm not going to claim to completely understand MGTOW now, but I've listened to maybe 10 to 30 hours of it in the last week or here, and I like what I hear. I can't even say that I disagree with what I hear about how 69% of women end up initiating divorces, that children are kept away from their fathers, that we live in an extremely gynocentric community or society here in America. All of these things are true, and they're not very happy about it. And I can't blame them one bit for not being happy about it. So I wanted to say I'm sorry for that video. That was not good that I had done that. It was not on the money. But here I am. I'm trying to make an amends that I had done that and correct my wrongs. Because I feel like the MGTOW community actually has something deeper to it. There's more meaning to it. I'd listened to previously Rollo and Entrepreneurs in Cars, or George Bruno and people in that version of the manosphere, and I got to admit something's missing on that side. There's a little bit of soul that's missing, and maybe it's the splitting plates mantra, maybe it's the focus on women more. I'm not sure what it is, but in particular when I was listening to Hammerhand, there was something that was captivating about it, like that he's on to something, and it was authentic, and you just feel it. You feel the authenticity, and it's something you can't fake. And they're on to something, and something's going to go down with it. I don't know what's going to happen in the future here, but a lot of people agree. And I agree with those people who agree. And I'm going to keep on watching, I'm going to keep on learning, and hopefully continue to keep on growing. And I think the big thing that I'm taking away from this is the more so headed towards the MGTOW monk road, and how having an emotional attachment to a woman can really get in the way of a man's purpose and mission. And I've seen other videos that scratch the surface of that. Immortal Mindz had one, why a man shouldn't fall in love. And I think my version of it is an emotional attachment. If a man can be with a woman, and I don't agree with marriage anymore either, but if a guy can be around a woman and not get emotionally attached, okay. But in my own life, whenever I have gotten emotionally attached, it did not go well. It got in the way of my decision making. It got in the way of my mission and purpose, and it wasn't a good frickin' thing. So I completely understand the trying to master ourselves, to not allow ourselves to ever become emotionally attached to a woman. One way to do that is to go MGTOW monk. I can't deny that is one way to do it. Just like they say in Game of Thrones, love is the enemy of duty. That's another way of saying the same thing. So I don't want to speak too much more about this because I'm still learning about the concepts. I'm still learning about the philosophy. And I just wanted to make people aware that I'm here to correct my wrong. And I understand that what I know about MGTOW now is just the tip of the iceberg. And it's there's a lot of stuff going on at once. There's a lot of moving parts. But I just can feel it, that they're onto something. And they're not wrong. Like they say, the only things people say about MGTOWs is they try to shame them, but they can't refute their arguments. And they're right, they can't. They'll shame them and say, oh, they'll sound whiny, or they'll sound like this, they'll sound like that. It's like, no. That's all you can say. You can try to dismiss them and shame them, but you can't give a decent rebuttal to one of their arguments. So with that, that's all I have to share about the MGTOW movement today. And I agree. All I can say is I agree with all the content, and thank you for the people that pointed me in the right direction. Again, Viktor von Frankenstein, Immortal, Mindz, Hammerhand, and Warlord's the one that pushed me in that direction. So thank you to all of you. And with that, have a good one.